I want you to think about the one thing that makes you you, beneath all the insecurity, the self-doubt, and criticism. The one thing you value most about yourself. It could be something you've always carried with you innately, or a characteristic you've learned to love about yourself, or that you're so proud you fought for. The thing you wake up to cultivate in your life every day, that excites you to nurture and develop your drive, your comfort, your security. The one thing that if it ever came down to it and you lost yourself, if you saw it in a crowd full of millions, you'd be able to find your way back. Now imagine if one day that very same thing just disappeared.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jed, a chronically ill 29-year-old pretending to be a 25-year-old with a mission to live out 5 lost years in 5 months before my 30th birthday in September. Whew. I just completed my first month living out as a 24-year-old again, so if you check that out, thank you so much. And if you didn't, make sure you do. But anyway, how are you? I won't lie, I have been struggling pain-wise, hence not uploading a new video in a minute. I'm not entirely sure what my expectation was going into all of this. I think I was wishing that somehow things would magically resolve themselves for me health-wise as I started the process of putting out these videos, but obviously real life doesn't work that way. And so yeah, it's been hard for me to find the energy and quite frankly the motivation to shoot an episode, but somehow I have managed to get it together today, so I'm grateful for that. I did also manage to get out of the house this week to see a friend for some gelato. That was really fun. But anyway, I am really excited for today's video. Like I said, although it has been a little bit physically challenging for me, I'm so happy to be doing these and sharing it with you guys. Thank you for being here with me and for all your really encouraging messages of support thus far in my journey. In case you're new here, last episode I decided to incorporate a new spontaneous device into our series, the treasure box, basically consisting of all of the things that I feel like I've missed out on in the past 5 years that I will draw from and simultaneously, spontaneously perform each episode. So without further ado, sorry. Kind of ironic for me to get lost in thought considering the topic today. So this is a bit more of a heartstrings topic for me. Apart from the obvious impact that chronic pain has had on me physically, one of the main other ways that it's affected me is in my ability to think. And I'm talking about like even the most simplest of concepts. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's almost as if all my energy and focus has in a way been reserved for dealing with the pain. And so there hasn't really been much room for anything else beyond that immediate scope. I don't know if like other folks who have dealt with chronic pain for like a very long period of time can relate to that, but it's like the effort that it takes for me to engage in literally anything intellectual these days is just like, it's like really hard. I always just like joke with my friends that there's literally like nothing going on up here anymore. It's like kind of true. And like throughout this whole process of dealing with chronic pain, like it's really been something that has messed with me because I have always valued my mind the most. And I don't mean that I'm like super smart or anything like that, but it's more, for example, when we're kids, you know, like our imaginations. I've always been one of those people that like really clung on to my imagination like long after childhood. Like I relied on it when I started to develop my ability and my passion for writing, which then developed into an insatiable thirst for knowledge that then informed those ideas and made them somehow more applicable to the real world, which was something I really cared about doing. In my household, like I was always the academic one. Like that was my assigned role almost. That was my contribution, my value, I guess. And as the eldest daughter of immigrants who sacrificed a hell of a lot, what should have been my destiny, my path, I also like can't even begin to count the amount of times that like my mind, my daydreams have saved my life. I've never been the most confident or, thought of myself as the most interesting or loved the way that I looked. Not to get all superficial, but like it's true. But I've always loved to think and to ponder. Like my inner world has always meant so much to me. Even if at times I've tended to overdo it with the overthinking, but that is a topic of discussion for another day. And all of a sudden it was just gone. My creativity, my safety, my ability to connect to other people through conversational connection, which is something else that I used to love doing. Recently, I attended a get-together where I was talking to someone about something political, and I just couldn't formulate a sentence, a response back to what they were asking me. I just froze mid-conversation because it was just too much for my brain to handle or something, and they just looked at me kind of funny, and I could tell they probably thought I don't know, I just felt really small. This overwhelming sense of regression. I miss being able to think freely and spontaneously in a natural rhythm, which is where I guess today's mission comes in. Let's see if I can gain back some of those brain cells that chronic pain has taken away. My initial idea with this was actually to go in and get a library card, which is something I haven't actually had since I was 13. But I actually just had another kind of more exciting idea. I've always wanted to swap a book from one of those little library boxes. They've popped up in recent years around neighborhoods. I don't know. I think it would be really cool to check one of those out and swap a book. Let's do it. All right, so all set. We've got the book that we're going to be using in the swap. The book is called Runaway by Peter May. I've never read it myself, but the tagline at the top that says A Life Shaped by Fear caught my eye because that is something that we are no longer doing, and therefore I rebuke it and it has to go. Bit of a cloudy one today. It was raining earlier. Dandelions, sure indication of spring. Happiness is a butterfly. Made it! Electric highway robbery. Aww. One day. Not right now though. This looks really cool. According to the description, this is a feminist arts and literature publication. Yeah, dude, I think we found our winner. Hey there. As you can see, it is now evening time here. I hope you guys all had a wonderful afternoon. I sure did. I spent it reading. Wasn't really familiar with the magazine before picking it up today, and so I ended up looking into it a little bit more. And as it turns out, it is a Canadian publication that's been around since 1975, and it features a collection of works, of feminist-related works by women and queer artists/authors. So that's pretty cool. This issue specifically centers queer voices and experiences of queerness, which is ultimately what made it stand out to me amongst all the other books today at the library box. Queer spaces, but specifically queer art spaces, have always been very near and dear to me, and a big reason for a lot of the way that my identity as an artist and a writer have developed throughout my life. And those spaces are spaces that I used to frequent quite a lot physically before my whole mess, and that I really miss. So this is a great reminder, and it's bringing me right back to those spaces that felt like home. I haven't got through the entire book yet. Honestly though, it's the perfect format for my brain capacity at the moment. Like I said, it's a collection of pieces from various authors. There's short stories, poetry, visual art. They're all just the perfect length for my attention span to get through. Out of the pieces that I got through this afternoon, there was one piece in particular, a poem that I actually wanted to share with y'all tonight, because it actually has a lot to do with the theme of the series. It's a little bit perfect, and I feel called to share it just in case there's anyone out there that might relate to it as well. Welcome to my book club. Okay, so it's called Late 20s, and it's by a poet by the name of Leah Horlick. It says, "We're too tired now to talk about loneliness. Now I just keep a hard and soft arbitrary list. of couples who shouldn't have outlived us. No particular reason. They're just not as good. It's just not fair. Some people find people, other people don't. Every couple of months, I light the hard copy on fire. Start again. The resentment is getting all calcified. A new body part, late at night. The idea of another 25 years of menstrual cramps makes my cramps worse. Leaving the city, leaving the internet, sinking, creeping. Exodus, nightmare fuel. New wishes. Instant pregnancy for those who want it. A particular shield against Lyme disease. Concussions. A shield around all of our parents. The height of all our new stakes makes me dizzy. She deserved the best apartment. You bastards. She really deserved that job. It's time to stretch before we go dancing. It's time to adjust this medication again and again. It's time to meet another woman from the internet. We reached the critical point of allergies and debt, critical mass of back to school and eating meat again. Every day I make a point of saying I love this place out loud as I leave the apartment. One hand sliding along the door jamb, lest it be taken away from me. Awful, magical thinking, as if being grateful is ever an ounce of prevention now. After all that, who knew there are so many different ways to not want to have sex? Caffeine still makes me edgy. Time is a sudden ravine. The first time I turned down the radio to try to find someone's house. The first time an adult memory is, that was 10 years ago now. I have to see my friends as many times as possible before they all get married. Oh God. I have to take a walk just to leave the house. I will pay you to say, you couldn't pay me to be in my 20s again. Over and over and over. I don't think there's much I really want to add to that, so I'm just going to leave that there. And with that, I will conclude today's episode. I do feel quite accomplished, like I regained some of them brain cells and pushed through the sluggishness and heaviness, so I'm happy about that. Note to self to maybe swap out some of the doom scrolling with more content like this. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I'll see you next time. Bye.